Thank you for joining Hawaii Wellness Network. And we have a special guest on, and I love this product, so I'm very excited that you're here. And a friend that has had really good results on your product to kind of talk about his story. So Karlel, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about your product and how you got involved. And
Sure. The product that we're here to talk about is actually called doTERRA. It is a Latin word, and it means the gift of the earth. And it truly is a gift. It's been such a blessing in my life. Just a little bit of background about me. I've been a producer here in Hawaii for the last about 5 or 6 years. I've been in marketing and advertising for 12 to 13 years. And so when my mom called me about, we're going on 2 years, this month, she told me about oils and how amazing they were. I remember just telling her I didn't have time, right? I didn't understand how powerful they were.
I said, great, Mom, you're
Yes.
enjoying the product. I'm
Yes.
happy for you. And we'll talk about it next family reunion.
Right, exactly. And my ohana lives in Hilo, and my mom is asthmatic. And so she said that she used a product called Breathe, which is a blend, and she put it on her chest, and she couldn't believe it, but she no longer had to use a nebulizer or inhaler. Again, I'm not as asthmatic, so I wouldn't know what that feels like. So for 6 months, I kid you not, it was every day. Mom called to tell me about lavender and melaleuca and how amazing these oils were. And truth be told, the phone went click many times. I mean, but she called at 4:30, so I have to say in the morning.
Oh, geez.
So 6 months came and went, and the true story began in August of 2011. My sister, Camille, she called me, and she's been sick all of her life. She's a premature baby, and she was born without part of her pancreas working. So she's always had massive depression. She hasn't, in the last 9 years, been able to hold down a full-time job. She's always been hospitalized. Her blood sugars on a daily basis consistently were in the high 300s, 400s. There has been many diabetic comas, starting from when she was 16 years old. And it was extremely hard on me and my entire family to watch someone you love go through this. At 33, she had circulation issues, black in her legs. Her eyesight started to go. My cousin Celeste Ha'o, she introduced the oils to my mom and said, Auntie, we have a diabetic workshop that was free with doTERRA. My sister went. The first day her blood sugars were 347. They gave her something called cassia, coriander, and grapefruit. And the very next day, same time, her blood sugars were 120.
And that's within 24 hours.
24 hours.
Wow.
It was absolutely phenomenal. My sister gave me a call, and it was a better time. It was 7 o'clock in the morning.
A little bit more awake.
And she told me about this experience. And I just remember, I'm not diabetic. I've been an athlete all my life. That I heard there was a light in her voice, that there was hope. And diabetes is such a huge problem here in Hawaii and all around the world. And so I decided at that point that I was just going to fly home and I was going to learn about doTERRA. I didn't know what it was going to do for me, but I was going to be supportive to my sister and my mom.
And knowing your personality, you went on the internet probably and did research.
I did, yes.
Why are these better? Yes. Why are these better than the other products?
Yes.
Because probably other people have heard, or are seeing essential oils in the health food stores, and there's different brands. And why did you pick doTERRA, and why are they beneficial and better?
Well, doTERRA is actually there's different grades of essential oils. So many people may not know this, but the first grade of essential oils, which we actually know more about, is a synthetic. So you'll find this in like perfumes and soaps and shampoos. You smell like rose and lavender. But if you've ever seen somebody that has been allergic to these things, it's because it is man-made. It's synthetic, okay? The second grade of essential oils is in our food. So you're talking about lime and lemon and different things like that. Most people don't even realize they're internally taking essential oils in that fashion. The third grade of essential oils, which was the purest before doTERRA came about, is therapeutic. And But what I tell people to do is go down to a health food store, any of them here, grab a bottle that will say 100% pure, like example of peppermint. Grab it, it'll say 100% pure, but if you turn it to the back, it'll say not for internal use.
And that's your first warning.
Right. Well, I mean, how can it be 100% pure if you can't internally take that, right? And what it is it's called marketing. And so just in a nutshell, peppermint alone, it takes about 100 plus different compounds to create that, aromatic compounds to create that. But essential oil companies don't really have standards to hold to. So they don't have to test for excess synthetics or excess pesticides used. And they can grab just a few of those compounds and they can call it 100% pure. And that's fine.
Wouldn't know.
Exactly.
And people don't realize when you're using the lotions and the chemicals, it absorbs. It's not
sure does.
into your body system.
Very
and
much
that's
so.
what's causing a lot of the illness and allergies and asthma.
Well, it can. It definitely can. But I mean, you even see some, massage therapists and stuff like that, because that was what people were using. Many times they're using it aromatically and topically. What doTERRA came out with is they created their own standard. It's CPTG, which stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. It is the purest form of essential oils available on the market. It is actually medicinal grade essential oils. Not necessarily we don't tell people jump off your medications in any way, shape, or form. That's not what I'm saying. In fact, you know what I tell people? Go talk to your doctors. Tell them about it. Many times they're getting these amazing experiences, and the doctors say, whatever you're doing, it's working, keep doing it. But it's a natural alternative instead of using prescription drugs or over-the-counter medications.
And speaking of that, you have one of the best friends and knowledgeable. He's actually a compound pharmacist. Mm-hmm. And you're the only one in the state of Hawaii that I've met that is a compound pharmacist. So
I actually just moved to the state about 2 years ago.
That's great. So do you want to talk a little bit about your background? And of course, you got a call from a friend.
I have been a compounding pharmacist for about 15 years, and through school, I had a course that was called pharmaceutics, and it's a 3-quarter course. And the first quarter everything was with oils, essential oils, but there was a time frame that had gone by that I didn't really come in contact with them. And one night I was out actually, and I through a mutual friend, I was introduced to Karlel, and she started to talk about these oils that I hadn't really been around for almost 15 years. So she enlightened me on different aspects that I had kind of forgotten myself, because through the field it had changed, and I really wasn't dealing with the oils themselves. So she had mentioned to me that there was oils for sleep, and there were oils for different types of ailments, upset stomach and so on. And then she got into this a little bit deeper for me, actually. It was more sort of like towards depression, panic disorder, and all these different type of mental, not really illnesses, but things that I happened to be going through at the time. Because at that time I was going through a really bad time in my life. I had just come out of a terrible divorce, and I was trying to get back to myself, actually. So I wanted to take that negative time in my life and build some type of positive going through it. And I wasn't sleeping, I was barely eating, panic attacks all the time, deep depression. And basically through different oils that she started to introduce me to, I was able to sleep, and with that sleep came strength. And as the depression decreased and the panic attacks decreased, there was hope, and once I had the strength and the hope, day after day, strength and hope, it pulled me out of that terrible place that I was in. And, I really want to thank you personally for helping me with that.
That's great.
But just as a sidebar, I didn't mean to stray off the topic of pharmacy, but
you're one of the best experts, because compound pharmacies actually deal with bioidenticals and all the natural forms.
Yeah. So through compounding, I could also use the different oils in the whatever prescriptions that were made up, whether it's sublingual, topically through the skin. whatever it has to deal with, there is an arena for these oils.
That's what I was going to ask you. So
Yep.
did you actually put drops in your water? Or did you make lotions up for yourself? Or
But yeah, it was through water. You can make, little capsules. There's little caplets and beads and different things.
and she's great at explaining because I actually, I think, got peppermint and lemon and little samples, and I was putting in my water every morning. And I noticed that made a difference. Before my coffee, I would drink 1 cup of water and put some lemon in it, and then I did for the essential breathe, and so it was really amazing. And it seemed like my digestive system before you put all the chemicals from the bad coffee. So it was kind of like a nice habit. But I'm sure after having all those years of training, you're very watch what you put on your body as far as.
Oh yes, very much so,
You
and
don't
that's
want
really what
chemicals.
I can say about these. They are actually safer and cheaper and more therapeutically. They can be more therapeutically effective than regular conventional medication, which really through the different side effects and everything, you can almost sometimes get into more trouble. Which is really what you want to stay away from.
And how many years do you go to college or study to be?
At the time, it was a 5-year degree.
Wow.
And since then, they moved it to 6.
That's
so
great.
I
So
kinda
you
just,
have intense study.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great. Very good. Well, and you're going to be in the bodybuilding show in April,
Yes, it's looking
You're gonna be
pretty much like that.
competing. So
Yep.
that's exciting.
Yep.
So thanks to these probably help with your recovery and workouts
Oh,
and
definitely,
energy.
very much so. Yes, especially focus. There's a oil that we call In Tune, and it kind of just boom, 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 keeps me right where I want to be.
Yes, I'm always asking her. She's very educated, so I'm getting the samples and knowing what to go with. And I actually got very excited because I'm a very big animal advocate. And one of my cats had stem cell therapy, and he wasn't doing well. So you gave me a little sample of the lavender, and he was breathing heavy. I was going to have to run him to the vet. And he's a boy, and he's Siamese, and a little crazy. So he allowed me to put some lavender on my hands, and I petted him and put it on there in 5 minutes, and he was fine for the night. Because it was 7 o'clock at night, the vets were closed, and breathing heavy. I was super worried about him, and he has a disease, and so I was like, oh, how much is that going to cost to take him to the emergency? And he was totally fine the next day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we also did an article in the Hawaii Wellness Directory.
That's right.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's
so
so many
many
experiences. And that was another one for me. I have a little dog, Taisha Chanel, and so personally, I don't have any children, but she's my little baby. So everything that happens to her, right, I'm constantly watching. That weekend, as I was talking about when I flew back to the Big Island to learn about the oils, it was really 2 experiences. One pivotal for me is I was an athlete, so I played sports, and I played basketball. My senior year, I got hurt, and my IT band. And so my mom, I remember rolling my eyes at the time, but she put something called Deep Blue, which we have here, and this is for pain and inflammation. It's a blend of oils. The main one that I love to talk about is the wintergreen, which is a tree that's used. And within 5 minutes, that pain in my knee was gone. I thought it was my brain, right? Thinking that this isn't really working. About 15 minutes later, my sister's in the other room giggling, and she put lavender on my little dog's paws to see if that was going to work. And Taisha Chanel went right to sleep.
Yeah.
So I put my feet up. She put lavender. Within 15 minutes,
So
I
you
was
both
sleeping.
were out.
Yes. Woke up the next morning. Do you know, August 27th, I remember this. It was such a pivotal day in my life of 2011. I joined doTERRA. I haven't had pain since then in my knee, and I had that for 13 years after I graduated. So, I tell people that are like living in pain, right? We have something for everything. So it's not just pain. It's depression. I had insomnia. We have one called Serenity. It's also a blend. The singular oil for that is lavender, which is also in there. I have people that I've weaned off of Ambien. One of my girlfriends, she lives in Kauai. Her husband was on 4 Ambien.
Wow.
And basically his blend that he uses, Serenity Lavender, and we have one called Balance. And he no longer has to use any Ambien. So we have people, like I said, with diabetes. Another aha moment for me is I was up to, on a good day, is about 205 pounds.
Wow, I can't imagine.
Yes, I was. Yeah, he's seen pictures. That was so fun. And we have...
What can happen when you eat?
Yes, just I was very focused in my, when you get into production.
Yeah, and working too much.
Yes, and not
Sitting.
sleeping and eating at worse times.
Mhm.
So we have a oil blend called Slim and Sassy, and all it is lemon, ginger, cinnamon, grapefruit, and peppermint. And I took that in a little veggie cap. As he was saying, you can take it 3 different ways. One is aromatically, so we have a diffuser, you can cup and inhale. Topically, right on the skin. Or we have little veggie caps where you can put it right in your water, so you can take it internally. But I've since lost about 52 pounds, and actually more since I think I'm up to maybe 65 now. So that's been pivotal, and I love it. I was just gonna kind of take you guys through some of our basic oils so that they could know that there's something for 400 plus ailments or conditions, which is
And you offer classes and workshops
Yes,
too. So if
every
someone
single
says, okay, is there 2 or 3, or I have this ailment, I want to work on this, what would be the best to start with?
Oh, definitely. I just want to come down to a class. And actually, what I do is I share doTERRA. So if someone tells me they have an ailment, like Dan had said, all I did was make him a little sample of one of the oils. I think it was Serenity at the time. And then what he just talked about was, this is amazing. This is a brand new oil blend. It actually has the first Hawaiian doTERRA oil. It's a Hawaiian sandalwood.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's for it's focus. ADD, ADHD. I use this daily. I truly do.
Keep your focus.
And I gave that to him, and I remember, I think it was the very next day that he texted me and said that the oils had worked, and he couldn't believe it. I think it was with a workout that you were doing.
Yep.
And then the rest was history. From there, we ended up doing a class.
And they smell amazing.
Yeah, they do.
Every time we get together, I just want to smell them all. We have our little samples.
Yeah.
Great. Well, do you want to go through some?
Yeah, just some of the basics. So, a very powerful oil. This is more of just a preventative. This is On Guard, and this is a antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial. So, it actually kills MRSA, staph infection. It's named on PubMed.gov for killing influenza. And we have this in our toothpaste, and we have a cleaning concentrate with On Guard. But I can tell you this: since July of last year, so it's about a month before I joined doTERRA, I have not gotten sick, like amazingly sick, or as soon as I feel like a croak in my throat. I travel quite frequently now because of doTERRA, but I just put On Guard right under my tongue. I have no problems.
Especially getting on that plane.
Yes, on the plane. Yes.
And I'm a little OCD about the germs because I have the Karlel hanging from the backpack in the person in the car. So this is probably a lot healthier than putting that chemicals on your hands.
Definitely. And it's pure. It has clove essential oil in there. Cinnamon is one of the most powerful ingredients in there. I talked a little bit about the Deep Blue. Deep Blue is for aches and pains, post-workout, pre-workout. He uses that quite often. We also have it in a rub style, just for topical use, for arthritic pain, things like that, even growing pains. I've actually, one of my team members, she's had a injury since she was 4 years old, and she wouldn't believe that the oils would work. So I said, why not try, right? What do you have to lose? She put it on top of her foot, and I kid you not, she stood up from her table and started walking around her living room just crying. She could not believe it. On a daily basis, these oils amaze me to this day. I know his brother, we went to Florida, and his brother, want to tell a little bit about?
Yeah, my oldest brother, actually, he's really responsible for me and going into the health and fitness type of aspect or whatever, but he's kind of, I tease him, I say, he's getting up in age, but that's just...
And how much older is he?
Yeah, no, he's the oldest, so he's about 14 years older.
14.
But he's working out all the time, every day just about. And he's really, I have to say, I'm really proud of him for the way he looks and everything. But on a side note, he developed a little bit of tendonitis in his right shoulder. So while we were there, it was a perfect opportunity, for me to introduce him to one of the oils, and he was always like thinking it was some type of snake oil kind of thing, But after 20 minutes or so, he was like, wow, you know what I mean, Danny? This is really starting to dissipate this pain that I'm so used to, after the last month or so. So you know, it was happy for me, you know, as the littlest brother, you know what I mean, to help him out, you know, after basically all my brothers have helped me out my whole life. But, you know, it was a nice moment for me.
Great.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so he's talking a little bit about Deep Blue is what he gave him, but I also gave him, you can combine the oils together. So he talks about them being safer. So you can, even when you combine the oils together, they're even more powerful. If you have a child that has a fever, you can use peppermint oil. You can put it right on the spine or the bottom of the feet. The bottom of the feet is one of the most porous areas of the body, so it'll be within your bloodstream within 30 seconds. So if the temperature doesn't go down exactly where you want it to be, can you reapply? Yes, you can, right? And you don't have to be scared or wait, you know, you don't have to wait 4 to 6 hours.
And it was nice when I got started with the 4, it had instructions.
Right,
On
that's
different
right.
ways of applying it. So I was like, oh, okay, good. That was helpful. What can I put in the water? What do I put on my feet? Lotions.
I tell everyone, if you can read the ABCs, does everybody know the ABCs here? Yes? Okay, if you can read, then you can use doTERRA essential oils, because we actually have little A to Z guides, mini guides, but we also have something called our Modern Essentials book. This will have all of the clinical research in here, and what I love is it's like a dictionary, but it covers about 400 plus ailments or conditions in there, from anything from colds to coughs to aches to pains. It will just list specifically how many drops of oil, what oils to use. What I recommend is to use the ones in red. So they have primary red, orange, and green, but red would be the ones in the clinical research that have worked more effectively each time. A main site that I love to go to, everyone's tech savvy mostly, is everythingessential.me. Again, everythingessential.me. It's a wonderful site. Same thing, just like this, you can actually just type in any ailment. There's about 400 plus ailments or conditions. And it's not a doTERRA site per se. It's not created by doTERRA. It was created by the hundreds of thousands of members all over the world. And they shared their experiences. So you type it in, it'll share with you how many oils, or what oils to use, how many drops, and even give you experience testimonials on what people have used to combat certain ailments. And so you can kind of see and self-diagnose, is that something like what I'm experiencing?
And of course, I have my favorites. I keep the peppermint in my purse.
Right.
And a lot of people take the mouth breath spray, you know, the Altoids, I shouldn't be doing names, but, you know, and a lot of those have chemicals in them. Mm-hmm. So this is something natural you can just put on your tongue. And
yes.
I have eucalyptus that I go to the Honolulu Club after I work out. And sometimes it's tempting to go and sit in the sauna in the steam room and not work out, but I don't admit that. So spraying the eucalyptus just and smelling the peppermint, it's really nice. You get it on your face and while you're steaming. So you have your little favorites that I carry around with me.
Peppermint is my ultimate favorite. I was just talking about, but it covers about 800 plus different remedies for different ailments. So it's for halitosis, right? Obviously, put it right to the top of your mouth.
You have a meeting during the day. And
yes. It's also, like I was talking about, it was good for fever. My mom uses it sometimes. Yes, Mom, saying it for hot flashes. She's always,
menopause.
Yes, and then also for like hiccups. Nobody would really even know. You can put 2 drops right in a glass of water and drink it really quick.
So that's better than scaring someone.
Right, yes. It's also good for even stomach aches. We also have, on the other side of that, Digest-N is an actual blend. It has peppermint in it as well. It has ginger and several other things, but this is for like flu, diarrhea, constipation. It's also good for acid reflux. You can put it right into your water, put it in a gel cap or veggie cap you can get from any health food store. And I'm going to tell you guys, yes, not the most fun moment, but I was doing a doTERRA class. And sometimes, you can never tell when these things come on. And I felt the need to use the bathroom, and I just met these people. And so that's a time when you're saying, okay, oils, right? Make sure you work, right? You're praying for that to happen. But I had faith, and it was super awesome. I just grabbed a cup of water, put some Digest-N. Yes. And they watched me do it, and right in front of their eyes, because I went to the bathroom, came back, and normally that's not the end of it, right? Well, I drank this.
And your stomach's gurgling.
Right.
Or maybe not so good on the first date or something.
True story. I put it in water, and I remember just saying thank you. I mean, it was just absolutely phenomenal. Yes, you're inside.
It didn't blow that.
Yeah, it was was great, but digestion. So it's for women, but all, men, children. It's safe. We have maternity. We have an entire maternity line that they can use. There's oils that are safe for new mothers and babies right outside the womb, all the way up to our elderly.
You want to be careful about chemicals when they're first born.
Right, for sure. But like our helichrysum and our frankincense. I'll talk a little bit about frankincense because that was another oil that he used. Frankincense is an anti-inflammatory. I think one of the biggest things, and I think I'll just pop this open really quick.
So you have so many different promotion materials to get people as tools.
Oh, definitely.
To know what to do.
So this type of thing would be a basic, does this look like a basic medicine cabinet that we've spent time building here, right?
Except for his.
Right, except for his. I'm sure it's more diverse.
Yeah, he doesn't have all those chemicals and the normal off-the-shelf products that we buy.
Right, and so this is a complete replacement of this entire medicine cabinet. But what I love about the oils is that what we teach about is that they're not just for one ailment. And when I was talking about frankincense in particular, frankincense, if you look in here, the alternative, they talk about antidepressant, which is kind of what you talked about. Prozac is what they show as a medication. Well, what they show as the alternative is frankincense. But if you look under frankincense, it actually shows you it's not just an antidepressant.
It's also those TV commercials. Wait, there's more.
Right. Wait, there's more. There truly is more.
It's 10 more ailments in one.
Yes.
Order now.
Very, very true, though. I remember the first time I learned about frankincense, they said just to smell it and see what happens. So I was watching this video. I smelled it, and I kid you not, I fell right to sleep. So, and then I realized, oh, it's a mood stabilizer.
Well, now you know
right?
the secret if she's being talkative.
That's always.
Just put her out. Here, smell this.
Put it in a diffuser, right?
Spray it on her.
Lather her up.
Okay, go to sleep.
But it's for stress. It's for even heavy. It's a heavy metal cleaner. It's also for moles and wrinkles. Frankincense. A lot of people ask me, where are these oils from? Well, they're actually from the most indigenous places throughout the world. So our frankincense is from Oman, Egypt. You know, our lavender is from France. Our lemon is from Italy. You don't want to get your Kona coffee from Montana, right?
Yeah.
So they get them in the most indigenous places. You won't find doTERRA with every single oil that's out there. And the reason why is if it's not CPTG, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade Standard, then they actually won't bring that in as an oil. And so, example, like there's one called birch that we use for sciatica, right? And they actually only have that once a year because the sourcing point that they get it from, they can only get enough for that to come out once a year where it's certified pure therapeutic grade.
Well, wonderful. What classes do you have coming up that people can specifically go learn and get started and just play with maybe 3 or 4?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, every Wednesday
they can contact you.
Yeah. Well, every Wednesday we're at Seven Palms, which is there right on the golf course by the airport, and it's at 7 o'clock. It's about 45 minutes, but they can come down. People can choose what oils, make their own kit, or just learn. It's completely free. So they can
or to ask questions.
Ask questions.
This is going on.
Oh, definitely.
And in Hawaii Wellness Director, you had a little free gift.
I did. In fact, if you bring the Hawaii Wellness or cut out the coupon there, you get a free wild orange essential oil. And wild orange is for stress, anxiety, and depression. You get the 5 milliliter. It's actually a gift pack. Just for giving us a call. My contact information is Karlel, KARLELC, as in cat, @gmail.com, karlelc@gmail.com, or you can contact me at ilovemyoils.com. That was fun putting that together, but ilovemyoils.com or 371-5700, area code 808.
Well, thanks for educating us and thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
It's nice to have a compound pharmacist as a friend.
Oh, definitely.
Yes. Thank you for sharing our hour, and we will see you next Friday.